And what do you think? What are your thoughts when you get emotional? Um, do you experience a lot of negative thoughts? Do you associate getting emotional with being weak or stupid or, weird or not like strong enough um, as you believe you should be? And some people can really have like a really mean devil on their shoulder whenever they get emotional. They might think stuff like, see, that's why you're not good enough. That's why nobody loves you. You're not allowed to feel bad. You should, keep being strong, keep on working, keep going forward. You're not allowed to play or enjoy. Maybe thoughts like, who wants to be around you anyway? Feeling like this. And yeah, those are really critical and negative thoughts that people can experience when they get emotional. But my question often then is like, would you say all these things to your best friend? Your best friend that's in distress. Would you say these same things to this person? Do you think that would make him feel better, him or her, in that moment by saying all these things? Probably not. But then why do we say those things towards ourselves, when we feel certain things? And it's because of this way of dealing with our emotions that, which obviously makes people more sad. While they're already feeling sad, they will feel even more sad. And it's because of this way of dealing with our emotions that people try to avoid it or try to block it from, happening. Because they don't want to end up in this, negative reinforcing spiral, which is really hard to get out then. But how can we approach this differently? Well, for this I use the metaphor of the sea. And I like this metaphor because the sea is never static. The sea has its high and its low tides, and it also gets affected, by nature or the moon, or I don't know all the exact forces that are influencing the sea, but it's never static. And since we as people also consist of water, for the majority of our essence, and we also get affected by what we go through in life. We have to go to work, we go outside, maybe a bird shits on our car, or we get affected by things that are happening around us, just like the sea. And that's why it's more than normal that our emotions are also fluctuating, like the sea. We can have like low tides, we can have like calmer moments, but we can also have high tides, that we are really triggered in something that makes us really feel sad or angry, and imagine a sea that has like a really high tide, like a tsunami, for instance, and you would put a barrier or a dam in front of it. What is that gonna create? It will make the sea push, against it. If it's strong enough, and it will stand it will keep standing, then it will create a lot of pressure on this barrier, on this dam. And that's what happens with us whenever we feel like a really high emotion and we try to block it, or we have been like blocking for a long time all these smaller emotions also, then this pressure that's against this barrier, against this wall, will rise up. And at some point it will break at the dam or the barrier. So for the sea to keep balanced, it doesn't need like walls or barriers. It just needs room and enough space for the waves to be able to roll, out over the sand. And also the sea, whenever it's having a high tide, is not having like thoughts like, I'm not supposed to have a high tide right now, or starts labeling the high tide as something like really negative. Oh, I'm now a really weak sea now, or it doesn't analyze, it doesn't interpret its waves, it doesn't judge the shapes or the forms or the directions of the waves. It just flows, and that's how the sea keeps balanced. And in that way we can be our own worst enemies, because sometimes we have like a really creative mind that's not really helping us, and we start to like analyze or judge or interpret the things that we are feeling, our high tides, our high waves, while we just have to like let them be, for it to become balanced again inside of us, internally, that we get calm again. And in that we need to trust this process that, okay, apparently I'm having a high tide right now. This is a big wave that I have to, surf on for this moment. So I'm just gonna be really sad right now, or I'm just gonna be really angry right now, or I'm just gonna be really scared right now, and that's okay, because it will pass. So we just have to like, when it comes to emotions, we just have to let it flow.